Nick, very good to see you. We have some big news. High earners age 50 plus are about to lose a major tax break. Starting next year, workers age 50 and older who earn more than $145,000 will lose a key tax break for their retirement savings. What's new here?
Right. So those catch-up contributions that people are making to their 401ks, if that individual earner is over $145,000 of earned income in that tax year, they can no longer make those catch-up contributions to their pre-tax 401ks. They have to make that to an after-tax, such as a Roth IRA inside of their 401k. So we lose a little bit of that tax break overall starting next year for those high earners.
Right. So essentially, before workers could reduce their taxable income with pre-tax contributions. So how will this switch now to after-tax contributions affect take-home pay and future withdrawals?
Right. So those after-tax contributions to that Roth IRA, if they are making the catch-up contributions, those after-tax are going to be taxable in that given year. So if we had an earner that was making contributions all to pre-tax, now it's kind of, part of it is going to pre-tax. We still get the deduction there.
Yeah.
And then all those extra after-tax, we're going to be paying taxes on that money. So we might have a little bit less take-home pay because Uncle Sam's getting a little bit more in those tax revenues from that contribution.
Which the government is happy about, I'm sure, considering the debt.
Yep.
But this brings us back, Nick, to the million-dollar question, really, which is, should we be contributing to pre-tax or after-tax accounts in the first place? How do we determine what's right for us?
Right. So we got to kind of look at where we're at on the individual tax bracket side of it, or married filing joint tax bracket side of it. And if we think that taxes are going to be higher in the future, it does make sense to pay those taxes now. But if we believe that either we're going to be in a lower tax bracket in the future or taxes are going to go down in the future, we can all be optimists and think that the government's going to continuously cut taxes, all the time. Then we would, make those pre-tax contributions today and convert later on. Whereas, with this opportunity, we don't have that, we don't have that choice. Now all of a sudden they're telling us you can't decide between, making a Roth contribution or making a pre-tax contribution. If you want to make those as a high earner, if you want to make those extra contributions to your 401k, it's going to have to go to the Roth side. So while we look at this, our government is 37 going on $38 trillion in debt, and it's not going the right direction. That's continuously going up. We can all probably agree that at some point in the future, we're going to have higher taxes. Now, if we go into a lower tax bracket, it wouldn't make sense to pay those taxes now. It makes sense to pay them later. But if tax brackets just continuously go up, it would make sense, at this point in time to pay the tax and convert that money over and make the contribution to an after-tax investment.
Right. And you and I have talked many times about the myth of retiring in a lower tax bracket. That's just not often the case. I have one more question for you, though, Nick. For people who are kind of married to that tax deduction and want to take it, are there any other strategies they should be considering, like HSAs?
Absolutely. HSAs tend to be the only triple tax savings that's out there. So we get a tax deduction on the money going in, it grows tax-free. And as long as we take it out for qualified medical expenses, it also comes out tax-free. And the interesting thing about HSAs is the IRS has come out and said that you don't have to have the distribution and the medical expense happen in the same year. So you could have a medical expense today that you pay for with after-tax money, from checking or savings. You let your HSA, invest that and let it grow for the next 10 or 20 years. When you get to retirement, now all of a sudden start taking that money out. You may not have the medical expense in that given year when you took out that distribution, but as long as you've saved your receipts, you can be able to, apply those distributions to those receipts later on down the road. So you get that tax-free growth for a longer period of time.
Yeah, it's interesting, Nick, again, to talk this through with you. It's clear you specialize in this strategic tax planning because it really is a puzzle. And as the government changes the rules, as they often do, it's different answers every year. So if somebody wants to talk to you about their unique tax situation and how it may change in 2026 and how they can take advantage of those changes, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, they can reach out to us online. Our website, ewgretired.com. Otherwise, they can give us a call and set up an appointment, 937-498-1128. And we can get an appointment with Luke or I to go over these tax strategies.
Great. Nick, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.